Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aubrey Vaughan, co-founder of SurfaceGuard. Welcome today to our education series here on how we're going to help teach you about how schools and universities can help get their students back into the classroom safety. This might be a very challenging time with what we're dealing with this pandemic. The one thing that we all can agree on is safe return to school is extremely important to all of us. Today we're going to talk about technology and the way that we actually are helping universities get teachers, parents, and administrators more comfortable coming back to the university. Thank you so much for joining. We look forward to you learning more. All my best. Welcome back to the SurfaceGuard education series on universities returning to school. Today I'm accompanied by Charles Brodsky, the co-founder of SurfaceGuard, and what I would like to do today on this amazing, beautiful campus is have you talk a little bit about what you're seeing as trends in the industry and what we're doing with our clients to help them feel more comfortable for the parents and the administrators to bring students back in the school setting. What are you seeing in the industry?
Well, from our perspective, what we're seeing is that most of the universities, the facilities managers, are following local health guidelines, so using mostly disinfectants on surface tops. But what we're now experiencing is that that's not really enough, right? Everybody's begun to recognize that when you use a straight disinfectant on a surface top, once that evaporates, your surfaces are now not protected. And in addition to that, the schools really have no data around which to measure how much cleaning that they're actually doing. So what we're seeing the industry is a turn towards two things in specific. One is the use of longer-term surface coating protection through the use of antimicrobials, and in particular the use of compounds called silane quaternary ammonium compounds, which provide a lot of long-lasting protection onto surface tops. But really the other main trend that we're seeing is the use of geospatial technology so that schools can now have data about what they've done to physically keep their surfaces safe, and then to be able to turn that data to face the public so they can answer the question that every school administrator has been getting for the last series of months, which is, what are you doing to keep my child safe?
So it's interesting you say that. So are you saying that you believe that the technology aspect coupled with the approach of using antimicrobials and EPA list in products will help parents and administrators be able to go to a digital portal and be able to see when the rooms have been treated and the facilities have been treated? Is that the trend that we're seeing?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Aubrey. So, everybody has seen a cleaning company come through, whether their office or their school environment, and they have no data around what actually just happened. They have no way to actually do quality assurance tracking to see that any kind of real cleaning has been done. So the technology that companies like SurfaceGuard have been looking towards, which are what are referred to as geospatial technologies, allow us to be very clear when we report which treatment has been done, in which facility, in which room, really all the way down to an inventory level. So things like sink level, water fountain level, chair and desk level, so that the institution, the university, can report that data and have more clarity about what they've done to keep people safe.
So ironically, when you talk about health and safety as it relates to this particular pandemic, when you're looking at how trends, it seems to me that the way that general cleaning was done historically is changing. It's evolving into a more data-driven, analytical, analysis-driven methodology that parents, teachers, and administrators are able to look at the data and know the safety and security of a facility as it relates to the particular individual within a school.
Yeah, Aubrey, that's exactly right. I mean, I think it's fair to say that there's a sort of a similarity to airline travel, right? Before 9/11, we traveled in a certain way. We had a certain protocol for traveling. And then after 9/11, there was a certain protocol for traveling, and it is not going to go back to the way it used to be. So much is the same with cleaning protocols in facilities like universities. There was a protocol that was acceptable pre-COVID, and now there are protocols being developed post-COVID. And those protocols need to get more data-driven. They need to use more advanced technologies. People need to be more certain that the facilities that they're walking into are clean. And we don't envision a time when that is going to get rolled backwards.
So what I've also been hearing is traditional methods on how universities and schools manage and handle hygiene and cleanliness in this particular pandemic. There's also a social messaging aspect of it that, parents, teachers, administrators were never really aware of, like, oh wow, this room was clean or this university bleachers were clean. So is there an aspect of the social media and the actual dissemination of information back to parents and teachers, is that going to be valuable to parents as they return?
Well, yeah, absolutely. If an administrator gets asked, what are you doing to keep my child safe? There needs to be a message that the administrator can transmit. It's kind of like if you disinfect a tree in the forest and no one hears or sees you do it, does it even really matter? And so much of the same is here. There has been hundreds of millions of dollars spent with traditional janitorial companies over the last 6 months post-COVID, who are going in and using traditional disinfectants like Clorox wipes, and yet no one feels safe coming back. No one has insight into what that means, into what products they're using, into how that keeps them safe. And so a protocol for safety to get parents comfortable that their children are safe has to include a community engagement, a community outreach, a community education program driven by data that helps parents see and hear and understand specifically what's been done to help keep their kids safe. And so from a SurfaceGuard perspective, a large part of the protocol that we deploy is doing outreach into the community with messaging specific for the institution about the steps that they've taken to keep their surfaces safe.
Well, thank you very much, Chuck. I think in closing this particular education series, what we would recommend you doing is visiting SurfaceGuardUSA.com, reach out to us. Our organization and company is very focused on providing detailed information on how you can get your students back into schools quickly, safely, and effectively. Thank you so much for joining. We look forward to you listening to the next one. All our best.